This is a Caterpillar 988B rubber tire loader. It's made by NZG and it's in 1/50th scale. This is a pretty decent loader for the time. This is one of the older NZG models, and it's a nice, no frills machine, which is accurate for the real loader. It's a nice, no frills loader. You got all the power you need, and that's it. You might have air conditioning, you might have a heater that works, but that's about it. As far as the model goes, it's nice, it's heavy. You have almost no plastic used on this model at all. I mean, it's all metal. The stack is plastic, the air cleaner is plastic, and that's about it. The wheels are plastic. Other than that, it's all metal. It's really pretty nice, especially considering how old it is. Now, if you look closely, you can see that the loader arms don't quite go far enough down to put the bucket on the ground, which is a little disappointing, but not terrible. The bucket does roll back just barely far enough. If you raise it up, and all the cylinders they're stiff enough to hold any position you want to put it in, which is nice. It rolls back just as much as it should, and it also dumps out all the way. Now, I don't think the loader comes up as high as it should. I think it should come up a little bit higher, but it's still pretty close. You do have the steering cylinders in there at your center pivot, and the steering, you get some pretty fair angles out of it. The cab interior is pretty basic. You know, you can just barely see in there. You got your seat, steering wheel, and 2 levers, which is about what it's like on the real machine. Like I said, it's a basic, simple, just workhorse, more or less. All the handrails are metal, which is cool. They're maybe a little bit bigger than what they should be, but again, given the age of the model, it's pretty darn good. The paint quality is pretty good. It does have these blue lights, which I don't understand, and also the blue tinted glass. All the old NZG models had that. I have no idea why. It's just kind of something they decided to do, I guess. Underneath, it's pretty basic. It's about what you would expect from, you know, the time period. Now, as far as the machine goes, like I said, it's a basic workhorse, and I mean that in the sense that it's everything you need to have an effective loader for the size, and nothing you don't. You do have a cab, and you do have a heater. You might have air conditioning, you might not, and you got 4 gears, a shuttle shift, 2 levers for the loader, and there's another lever in there. I can't remember what it's for. It's like it's not the torque converter. It's like you could control the amount of torque to the wheels or something like that. I can't remember what it was. All I can tell you is that it either didn't work or it was ineffective, because it didn't matter where you had that lever. If it was all the way in, all the way out, halfway, 3/4, it did not affect the machine at all whatsoever. And like I said, maybe it never worked. Maybe it just wasn't effective. I have no idea. The one that I run, the first time I got in it was the biggest loader I'd ever been in my life at that point. And you climb into it and you think, oh man, this thing is huge. I got all the power in the world. And to say I was disappointed is an understatement. The loader had a little bit of a learning curve to it. And I mean that in the sense that, I mean, a rubber tire loader is a rubber tire loader is a rubber tire loader. They're all basically the same. But this you had a certain amount of material that you could push, and you had a certain amount that you could lift. And if you worked up to that amount of material, it was a very good, very powerful, very effective machine. But if you tried to do more than that certain amount, the thing was just a pig. You couldn't get it out of its own way to save your life. And it was terrible. But like I said, once you figured out how much you could move with it and how you could be effective, using the machine and the power that you had, it was really a pretty good loader. You just had to know what you could do and what you couldn't. And once you figured that out, it was you could be pretty effective. You can move a lot of material in a short amount of time. And it was really a pretty decent machine. Now, what's funny is the place I was at, they had 2 of them. And the one they sent it out, and it got the motor got rebuilt. It got a new transmission in it, and we finally got it back. And we thought, like, all right, we're gonna have, you know, one heck of a nice machine here. You always wonder when you get in something with, you know, 15, 18,000 hours. Wow, I wonder what it was like when it was new. Well, here was the chance to have about as close to a new 988B as you could get. You know, the thing's 30 years old. So hop in it, brand new motor, brand new transmission. It run exactly the same as it did before. The exact same amount of material you could push, the same you could lift. It was exactly the same. And wow, that was a disappointment. I mean, they spent a lot of money to get this thing rebuilt the way that they did. And to have just, to have no change in performance was pretty impressive. And I think it really said, it said a lot about the condition of the machine, just the powertrain as it was, as wore out as it was, that it was no different from rebuilt. And that was kind of funny. And they eventually, the one that they didn't rebuild, they got rid of, and they picked up a 988K. And to think that both of them are 988K or 988s is unbelievable, because the K can do so much more. I mean, granted, it's a new machine, but it was so much more of a loader than what the B was. And, you know, you have 30 years of technology and, you know, progression, and every time, you know, you introduce a new model, you get a little more horsepower, you get a little more torque, a little bit better hydraulic flow. So to say that they're both 988s really isn't true, but they were. Anyway, that's about it. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to ask. If you have anything you'd like to see, let me know. I might have it. And as always, thanks for watching.